Since the beginning of the 21st century, almost all of the Middle Eastern countries have been remodeling and revamping their local landscape and infrastructure. They've been building spectacular buildings, extravagant malls, beautiful parks, huge museums, and advanced transportation hubs. After all, they have the means to do so. This has also turned everyone's attention towards them and contributed to a rise in international tourism in the region. Today we'll tell you all about the largest mega project built in the Middle East. But before we begin, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on exciting upcoming releases. Northfield Expansion Project. This isn't a glamorous and advanced city. Instead, it is a major liquefied natural gas facility. Qatar aims to build the Northfield Expansion Project that will increase the size of the largest single non-associated natural gas field in the world, which is located offshore the northeast Qatar Peninsula. It's often referred to as the NFE and will apparently increase the liquefied natural gas production capacity of the small but incredibly rich nation by 43%. Qatar will begin producing 110 million tons of LNG annually once this project is finished. Qatar Energy announced the expansion in April 2017 after it revoked the self-imposed ban on field development. This ban was imposed to estimate the impacts of increasing the output from the reservoir back in 2005. This $28 billion project will start producing gas by 2025. The project is part of Qatar's Vision 2030 that aims for sustainable development by 2030 and creates a huge economic boom. The World Islands. Dubai is already the jewel of the world, so their urge to build a world island seems a little too much. But who can stop one of the richest countries in the Middle East from building an island project comprising 300 man-made islands, one for each country in the world? They'll probably look like a map of the world from above. Construction on this project began back in 2003 but had to be stopped after the 2008 financial crisis. 60% of the construction here was done by private contractors, so there was very little chance of salvaging it. By 2021, just 9 of the 300 islands were completed and ready for visitors. They require sand to be moved to the area, but erosion and weather changes have caused a lot of setbacks to the project. The islands don't have their own electricity source and the project to price cables under the Gulf didn't work out. Construction of these artificial islands has only adversely impacted the coral reefs and oyster beds. This has killed off a lot of marine life and continues to do so rapidly. The World Islands project cost around $14 billion. That could have been better spent elsewhere. Guggenheim Abu Dhabi. The famous architect Franz Gehry is the mastermind behind the Guggenheim Museum of Abu Dhabi. This amazing museum will open to the public in 2025. It's located in the center of the Saudia Cultural District and is a collaborative project built by the Department of Culture and Tourism, Abu Dhabi, and the Solomon R. Guggenheim Foundation. The building covers an area of 45,000 square feet and will soon be the largest one of the 4 global Guggenheim museums. The building design is unique and experimental. The inventive 21st century museum design contains a cluster of galleries having varying shapes, heights and characters. The museum will also contain an art and technology center along with a children's educational facility. There will be a library and a conservation laboratory for the literary and science enthusiasts. Its main focus will be modern and contemporary art from West Asia, North Africa and South Asia. Jabal Industrial City. Saudi Arabia is one of the few oil-rich nations in the world that are eager to expand their infrastructure and their influence on the world. The Jabal Industrial City is another one of their projects meant to push the country into the future. The ground-up industrial project began back in the 1970s and its construction has cost around $11 billion up until now. The mega-project is divided into 4 phases that involve updating the industrial plants of the city. Petrochemical industries, smelting plants, support industries and more cover around 8 square miles. But to execute their plan, the city will need to remove hills, build underground tunnels, new highways, expand the fiber optics and build an underwater seaway to allow daily cooling. Jabal used to be a small fishing village, but now it is one of the largest civil engineering projects in the world. Hamad International Airport. Located in Qatar, the Hamad International Airport is downright mesmerizing even now. It has 2 long runways measuring 13,944 feet and 15,912 feet respectively. In 2021, the airport saw 169,000 aircraft movements, and an unbelievable 17,700,000 passenger movements. However, that's just not enough for Qatar. They have bigger and more extravagant plans. The expansions have been underway for nearly 10 years now. The terminal will be expanded in order to accommodate the ever-increasing number of passengers. This became unavoidable when Qatar began preparing for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. A new central building located between the concourses D and E was built to feature a 110,000 square foot tropical garden. It also has an 879-foot tall water feature like the one in Singapore. 126,000 square feet of retail and food and beverage area will also be added. A fancy business class lounge would be constructed at the mezzanine level. It'll cover an area of around 97,000 square feet and will probably be the largest airport lounge in the world. Kidia. The development of Kidia is another one of Saudi Arabia's multi-billion-dollar projects, but this one is going to be an entertainment resort. Kidia is located 26 miles southwest of downtown Riyadh and is partially financed by the Kidia Investment Company. Like many others, this project is also part of the Vision 2030 Economic Diversification Plan. This plan aims to attract international investment and expand the country's economy. Currently, the kingdom also entirely depends on hydrocarbons, but Kidia and similar projects will diversify it by bringing in investments in a wide range of business sectors besides the petrochemical industry. Kidia is supposed to have 300 state-of-the-art recreational and educational facilities. There will be water and snow-based activities, theme parks, sport arenas, and all of these will host international competitions and events. There'll also be outdoor desert activities along with the historical and cultural activities. There's also planning to build the world's tallest, longest and fastest roller coaster. If all goes according to plan, Kidia will attract millions of dollars in investment and millions of tourists to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Abu Dhabi International Airport. Just like Qatar's Hamad International Airport, Abu Dhabi also has a mind-boggling hub of international air travel that they're planning to expand even further. The airport is spread across an area of 8,500 acres and saw more than 5.2 million passengers in 2021 alone, and they're expecting an increase in this number in the coming years. This expansion has cost around $6.8 billion so far. After being completed, the new terminal will increase the capacity of the airport to a whopping 45 million passengers every year. The complex will have more than 58 gates. The airport is also adding 27,000 square feet of retail and food and beverage areas, covered parking, transit hotels and more. A 2020 report revealed that sponsors of the airport have delayed many important decisions or chosen unfeasible models that have led to a delay in the completion. The expansion will also add a 13,000-foot parallel runway at a distance of 6,500 feet from the existing runways. There will also be a new air traffic control tower, better cargo and maintenance facilities. Yas Bay. This is a mega project located south of Abu Dhabi's Yas Island. Its construction is estimated to cost around $3.2 billion. It will one day be home to 15,000 people. The bay will offer its residents 19 parks, retail centres, entertainment zones, a waterfront, and a pier with at least 37 food and beverage outlets. The Yas Bay will also have 2 hotels, one of which is the Hilton Yas Bay, and there'll be a new indoor Etihad Arena. The Yas Creative Hub covers an area of 3 million square feet, and about 16,000 professionals will work there. The project is one of the many that are being built to give Abu Dhabi the attention and investments it deserves. This will be a global media and entertainment centre with 5 towers housing about 600 businesses. The Red Sea Project. Between the coastal cities of Umlush and Awad, Saudi Arabia has built a massive $10 billion mega project called the Red Sea Project. This was announced in 2017 and will be completed by 2030. It's another pillar in Saudi Arabia's 2030 vision that will attract tourists. This is a luxury multi-use resort comprising an archipelago of islands in the Red Sea. The entire project spans about 12,000 square miles and is exceptional to say the least. The luxury resort will be available to visitors all year long and will estimatedly bring in $6 billion annually. It's entirely built on the water, but boats won't be the only transport method that'll be used. This project has its own airport. The project incorporates a part of the coastline that has never been touched by man previously, and therefore is home to many important archaeological and historical sites. The Red Sea Project hotels will have a total of 8,000 rooms. Developers aim to make it a sustainable resort with a zero waste to landfill policy. Jabal Omar. This is another one of Saudi Arabia's massive construction projects. It covers an area of 40 hectares, but it costs a whopping $4.5 billion. The Jabal Omar is an amalgam of towering hotels and residential buildings. After completion, it'll be able to host around 36,000 people every year. That'll increase to 100,000 or more during the Hajj season. The 8-phase project will see the construction of twin-tower hotels. There will be dedicated prayer areas, a 7-star facility and many other hotel towers too. A Southeast Asian company also made a deal to bring 2 hotels to the Jabal Omar that are currently under construction in Phase 4 area of the project. There will be 40 towers in the built-up area by completion. Amala. Amala is also a Saudi Arabian mega-project. It's located along the Red Sea coast and will be one of the greatest tourist destinations in the country. The development will contain 1,800 hotel rooms and about 900 private villas on the water. There'll also be 200 shops and restaurants. This project will be like a small but extravagant town dedicated to high-end travelers. Amala will also have an Academy of the Arts meant to nurture the future artists and innovators of the country and the region. The luxury site will cover an area of more than 1,100 square miles. The lavish project is going to be extremely expensive. Just the first phase of Amala has cost about $3 billion so far. Amala will be opened in 2028 and create jobs for 22,000 people. The Abraj Khudai is still under construction and is located in Saudi Arabia. It's going to be the largest hotel in the world. It'll be like a complex consisting of a ring of 12 towers covering an area of 11 million square feet. It'll be 45 stories high and have around 10,000 bedrooms. The plans for this luxurious hotel also include 70 restaurants, 4 rooftop helipads and more. There are 5 exclusive floors that'll only be used by the Saudi royal family. 10 of the 12 towers will offer 4-star accommodation, while the other 2 will provide 5-star accommodation and facilities. The project is ambitious, but has faced a few setbacks due to the exuberant costs amounting up to $4 billion. Lucile City. Qatar may be a small country, but its economy is gigantic. It's barely the size of the US state of Connecticut and yet has managed to become one of the richest countries in the world. And one of their aspirational mega-projects is the Lucile City that'll be the first entirely green city in the country. It'll be home to 450,000 people, and half of them will be full-time residents and 170,000 will be part-time residents across the 19 districts. The city will include a blue lagoon, 4 man-made islands and 2 marinas. A huge luxury stadium worth $45 billion will also be built in Lucile. It won't just be a green city though. The plans are to equip it with the most modern technology and make it a smart city too. King Salman Park. King Salman is still alive, but the man is so important and influential that a huge park is dedicated to him. The park has already cost the government $20 billion and will also need about $15 billion more in private investments. This exceptional mega-project is 4 times the size of New York City's Central Park and covers an area of 5 square miles. It sits beside an old airport. It's going to have its own metro stop and visitors will get to witness some incredible Islamic-themed architecture. The park will also house a butterfly conservatory, circular walkway, a 5 square mile valley and a labyrinth. Besides the natural attractions, King Salman Park will have an indoor and outdoor theatre and 7 museums. There will be luxury sports facilities including a water sports area. This is a park we'll want to visit once it's completed in 2030. Miraline Skyscraper Project. This is probably the most ambitious project proposed by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They've actually begun preparations to build one of the largest and technologically advanced structures in the entire world in the desert city called Neom. This massive structure will be 100 miles wide and about 1,600 feet tall. This will be a sort of a skyscraper city. They've decided to call it Miraline, and its construction will cost a whopping $1 trillion. It'll be part of a hyper-futuristic city that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, has decided to build. It will begin from the Gulf of Aqaba and will bisect a mountain range extending along the coast. It'll further continue to a mountain resort and complex that'll house the government of the country. It'll also pass via an aerotropolis in the desert of Saudi Arabia. People will be able to travel from one end of the Miraline to the other in just 20 minutes. The 8-sided buildings of this city will contain a suspended sports complex and a mountain resort too. There will also be vertical farming integrated into the structure and would feed a whopping population of 5 million. A marina will also be built where yachts will be docked. A high-speed rail will run under the structure and connect every part of the city. Calling it the epitome of luxury and extravagance seems like an understatement. We hope you enjoyed the video. Tell us which mega project amazed you the most, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back soon with another mind-blowing story.